If you plan to file for Social Security benefits while you're still working, you need to make sure you understand the rules. Hey everyone, the rules for working while drawing Social Security aren't that complicated, but they do catch a lot of people by surprise. And the worst thing you want to have happen is to get a benefit and get notified 2 to 3 years later that you shouldn't have and have to go back and unravel that mess. So let's dive in. So there are 3 bans that apply to most individuals. The first is simply if you are under full retirement age. And for individuals there, the earnings limitation is $17,040. If you go over that, the administration will start to withhold $1 in benefits for every 2 that you exceed the limit. And then at full retirement age or older, there is absolutely no limit on the amount of earnings that you can have. There's billionaires out there right now who are receiving their full benefit. Now, one of the caveats to this is that center ban, and as you see, it's empty. That is the calendar year in which you reach your full retirement age. So if your birth date is in July and you're going to turn 66 or 67, whatever your full retirement age is, then beginning in January 1, you are under a different income limit. And it goes up from that $17,040 all the way up to $45,360. And the amount that the Social Security Administration will withhold becomes more liberal as well. For every $3 over the limit, $1 is withheld in benefits, all the way up until the month of full retirement age. So one of the exceptions to this annual limit is in the first year you retire. The Social Security Administration will refer to this as a grace year. In that year, they'll use a monthly limit instead of an annual limit. What this means is that if you had a job where you made $50,000 from January all the way up until July, and then you retired, all of those prior earnings would not apply. Only the monthly amount of earnings moving forward would. So in that year, you would clearly be well over the annual amount, but because you didn't exceed the monthly amount moving forward, the earnings limit would not apply to you. And much like the annual amount, the monthly amount also increases in the calendar year you reach your full retirement age. Now, one of the questions that I always get is, okay, Devin, so I can't have earnings, but what actually counts as earnings? Well, there's lots of different things to look at, but the vast majority of questions that I get are around these items. What does count as earnings are employment income, and that's income that you get on a Form W-2, or net earnings from self-employment. We're going to cover that in just a moment because that's a tricky one for self-employed people, and you have to be really, really careful. But what does not count would be pensions, annuity payments, IRA distributions, dividends, interest income. And that's just a small list. There's lots of other special payments that you can get in retirement that may or may not count. So if it's anything beyond these broad categories here, you need to dive in with the help of a good accountant to help figure this out. So let's take just a moment and talk about this substantial services rule for self-employed individuals. Generally speaking, it will apply to individuals who work in their business for more than 45 hours per month. However, if that work is considered highly skilled, it can also apply to you if you work as little as 15 hours per month. So I don't want to get too deep into this, but I do want to show you some of the language from the Social Security Administration website. So under this rule, they're not necessarily looking at profit or loss, but they're looking at how much time do you spend in the business. That's how they can classify, are you really a retiree? And you'll see in that last sentence of factor number 1 where it says as few as 15 hours of service a month could be substantial if, for example, the hours involved management of a sizable business or were spent in a highly skilled occupation. Then they go on to list some other factors that they consider, but I'll tell you this whole rule is a bit ambiguous. It leaves it open for some interpretation. So understanding this rule and getting advice on this is very, very, very important. If you're self-employed and you are less than full retirement age and you plan to work for more than 15 hours per month, please get the advice of a professional who understands this topic. Listen, I cannot stress enough the importance of not taking this as specific advice. Sometimes you only get one chance to do this right. So make sure you do this under the guidance of someone who understands your complete and entire situation. Thanks so much for watching, and before you leave, be sure and subscribe to my channel. We've got lots of new stuff coming out, and that way you'll make sure and get it as it comes out. Thanks again for watching.